Welcome to It Happened in Grand Prairie, as we bring you the history of our city and some of the people that helped make that history, and some that are making history even this very day. And we're so excited today. This is our history tape number 499. And on this September the 30th, we're very excited to be pre-taping our show that is going to be shown very, very soon. And we are very pleased. As we are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, our history today will be done in two parts. One with the schools showing their wares as far as September the 16th is concerned, and then what happens in the business community when they celebrate. And we're so pleased at this time to bring two wonderful teachers from Garcia Elementary in Grand Prairie, Texas. And the very first on my absolute left is Myrna de los Santos, who is a counselor. And wonderful to welcome you to the set today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Wonderful, Myrna. And Mary Cavazos, art teacher, wonderful, par excellent at Garcia Elementary. And we're very sad that Susan Ramirez, our wonderful principal, couldn't be with us, but she says, I'm sending you two wonderful ladies to tell you about something exciting that we've had at Garcia Elementary. And we know that in our eyes, September the 16th is the most important day. If you happen to be from Mexico and have come to the United States recently or even in the past, that is something in the culture that those of us that really appreciate that, we kind of have it as a favorite instead of the Cinco de Mayo. But other people think that the celebration for Cinco is exciting, and it is. And I would ask you on camera what you all think about which one is the most important, but we've already talked and we know how you feel about Hispanic Heritage Month in September and through the middle of October. And let's start with Miss Myrna. Miss Myrna, we're going to call you the ranking citizen since you're nearby. And since both of you all hosted the last celebration at Garcia, plus you hosted the one for the Cinco de Mayo, so y'all are real steeped in organizing these things. Tell us a little bit about yourself, would you, Miss Myrna?
Sure. I'm a school counselor. I've been a counselor with Grand Prairie ISD for about 9 years.
All right.
I've been in education for 18 years,
All
and
right.
I enjoy working with children and working with the community. I love my job. I just love to be involved in any community school kind of activity of any sort. I'm originally from San Antonio.
All right.
And I currently reside in Arlington.
That's great.
But my heart is in Grand Prairie.
And I hope it's at Garcia Elementary.
And it sure is. I work and play out there, so.
Yes, and how long have you been at Garcia Elementary?
Well, with the new school, I've been there 4 years.
4 years.
Okay. I was with Travis and Lamar Elementary prior to, and when both of the schools combined to form one school. I was fortunate enough to follow. And
do you have a family?
I sure do.
Or would you like to name them?
Well, my little boy, Peter Alexander, will be turning 4 next month in October, has started pre-K.
Good.
And my husband, Pete de los Santos, who you know, is just enjoying being a father.
Isn't that great?
He's our only child, and all our attention
all
and
your
interest.
attention goes to Peter.
Both of them know about our involvement with Grand Prairie. They follow me along when we have walks through the community or functions having to do with our cultural heritage.
We're going to get back with you in a minute to tell about some of the great things that's happened. But now let's get to Miss Mary. Miss Mary, how long have you been at Garcia? And tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, actually, I've been at Garcia a year and couple of months.
Yes.
I started last August. It was my first year. I had just graduated from UTA in Arlington.
Yes.
Spanish major, art minor.
All right.
So I'm really interested in a lot of the Mexican history and culture. And I really enjoy being the art teacher. It's very exciting, it's fun. I love the kids and the artwork that they produce. And our school is 90% Hispanic, so I really have a lot of fun coming up with activities for them to do in the classroom.
Oh.
And I am originally from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And I was raised in Dallas.
In Dallas, in that area. And do you have a family?
Well,
Just your parents?
My parents and my 5
Siblings.
brothers. Yes.
Good. Oh, that's wonderful. Now, art. When you, I guess, chose art instead of any other of the electives, had you done this in school when you were a child?
No, I haven't. No, I hadn't. Actually, I only took one art class in high school. I always enjoyed taking theater arts.
Yes.
So I was a theater art person. So I took one art class, and I ended up winning the best art portfolio in our Irving Arts District back in '98, and an award.
Oh, that set you off.
Yes, and that set me off. And then when I went to UTA, I went ahead and took a couple of art classes, and I went ahead and minored in that, and won also a couple of awards there. So, yes. And now I'm the art teacher, and never thought I would be an art teacher.
Isn't that great?
So I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying it.
Okay. Now, tell me how you all got this thing together, Myrna.
Well, we were asked by our principal to come together and get some ideas going.
Why did you get to just single out on art? Because you had her as a
Because we
cohort.
have her, and she's great. And we decided to start from that area and incorporate some of the other activities that are going on at our school. We have a dance group of little girls that come together.
Let's hold up our dance picture.
We have a picture, as a matter of fact.
Ballet Folklórico.
Yes. And these are all Garcia Elementary
Yes,
students?
and they are all grade levels. They can be in kindergarten, first grade. You see some very little
Yes.
girl right there. And,
Yes.
And we offer Ballet Folklórico classes through our after-school programs, and we have offered art before, so we decided to bring together our Folklórico group and join forces with the art teacher and the art that she works with the children on. And next thing you know is we've brought them both together and decided let's do a celebration here and teach our children about our culture, or have them express what they know about our culture.
And the importance of Independence Day.
And the importance of 16 de septiembre, the Independence Day. And so we incorporated both of these, and we brought some of our artworks and a copy of our newspaper article, just to give our community an idea of why we think it's important to celebrate and maintain some of our historical, cultural background, and teach our children about that.
Were these on display, Mary, at the school for a PTA meeting or some other?
Actually, these were on display. We had, I have like about 6 bulletin boards, and I covered them all up with the colors of the Mexican flag.
Yes.
The green, the white, and the red. Here's one of the students' artwork right here.
That's wonderful.
And we talked about the symbols and what the colors mean. For example, the green stands for independence. The white is for purity and religion. And the red is for the blood that was shed for independence, and it means union and bravery.
Oh, that is wonderful.
And then the eagle devouring the snake on top of a cactus is it started off with the Aztec legend of where Mexico City was to be built, wherever they saw that image. And they saw it on top of a lake. It was in the middle of a lake, and that's where they built Mexico City, with where there was water.
Yes.
So we talked about that, and I had the students draw stamp art. We were making stamps, and I really like this one. This one was done by Richard Carranza in 5th grade, and he did the Father Hidalgo, he's the father of the Mexican independence.
Yes.
And the flag that he's carrying is not the Mexican flag, because at that time Mexico didn't have the flag yet. It had about 3 different flags. And the flag the priest or the father was carrying that day, which was September the 15th, 1810. And it had the image of the Virgin of Guadalupe.
Yes.
And so
he was
went ahead.
carrying it in behalf of the church.
Yes.
Yes.
To have the Mexicans
Rally for Independence.
Rally for Independence.
Yes,
So,
yes. Oh, that's wonderful.
so we studied about the history, about what happened on that day, and why we celebrate Mexican Independence
And then they got
Day.
to do the painting.
Yes,
Right.
and then they went ahead and this one did a celebration. So he mariachis, which, yeah, you know, they're
Very
known
much a
for
part of
Big part of the celebration.
Big part of the celebration, and then this other student just did a colorful drawing here saying "Viva Mexico" with fruit. Which we thought, you know, fiesta, celebrate. So.
And you have some of your artwork.
And yes, I have some of my artwork, which also has to do with Mexico's culture. And this is a Mexican dance. It's called La Danza del Venado, the deer dance. And this is one example right here,
We need to
the deer dance.
ask if we could have maybe one of our pictures that we have in the back. Tell me about the pictures in
Okay.
the back, would you?
Well, this picture in the back right here, it's a little girl in the mercado, in the market in
Yes.
Mexico. They're everywhere.
Who
and-
has done those paintings?
Who has done those paintings? Well, you see them everywhere. I know that whenever I go to Mexico, or
Yes.
it's just pictures of the people, of the common people. And
So you have these hanging up and display in your school then?
yes, I go ahead and put a lot of my. I do self-portraits also.
All right.
So I have self-portraits, huge self-portraits, 4 by 4 feet,
Yeah.
3 by 3 feet. And I put them in my room, and it just inspires the students. And they're like, "Oh, she's a real artist." And
Yes.
they actually ask me, "How do I do this? How can I make my eyes look the way you make yours look?" And it's very inspiring for the students to see my artwork, and it just helps them a lot also.
Wonderful.
Guides them.
Myrna, as a counselor, when you all pull this together, how do you notify the parents? Do they get to come and see all of this?
I'm glad you asked me that. Yes, not only do they get to come and see this, but they actually help out. When Ms. Cavazos talked about setting up the bulletin boards, parents help with the bulletin boards. They help putting out the artwork. They help with the flowers that we use to decorate our school and the streamers. And they also help by bringing in some tidbits having to do with culture and so forth. And I want to say, you know, children are inspired by our art teacher from what they see. But parents come in and they say, "Oh my gosh, look at the work she's put out. And look at some of the work that our kids are also helping to make," and so forth. We try to include them at every one of our celebrations from the 16 de septiembre to 5 de mayo. If we set out a float or some kind of art project, they're a part of it. They're a part of whatever it is we're doing, and we bring them in as groups, and they can come in and sit down with us for a designated time of 30 minutes or an hour, whatever time they can contribute to be a part of what we're doing. Kids get to see them participate.
Yes.
Then they participate with their teachers, so it kind of all comes
A little
together.
circle.
Parents come to my room while the students are working, and they go ahead and help. If we're doing the papel picado, which is like punched paper,
Yes.
where you usually
Streamers.
see
Yes,
them in the
streamers.
fiestas. So they help with the papel picado. They help make the tissue flowers, everything, and the students get to see the parents right there helping and
Working together.
working together.
Do you think that the parents have a greater interest in the 16th of September, and that's the reason they come and help you do all of this, because that's something that they really celebrated when they were abroad?
They definitely see the difference between 16 de septiembre and any other celebration regarding their
Yes.
heritage.
Yeah.
This is, they consider this the most important celebration that they come with and that they share with their families. But I tell you what, they're interested in any kind of celebration that happens to celebrate their culture. But 16 de septiembre, I would have to say, is very significant in our culture.
Wonderful, and we're going to keep on the prayer list the fact that we want to do more celebrating for the Independence
We
Day.
are, and I know at Garcia Elementary, this is something we've talked
I believe
about.
y'all are the first school that I've had knowledge of that have celebrated that. and that's the reason y'all are here. I just think
Well,
this
we
is
take pride in
wonderful.
doing this
Yes, we
and
do.
making sure our parents are a part of it. It was well received, I would say, and it's for sure going to continue. I can say that. I know our principal is very interested in that.
How about the other teachers in the school? When they knew that y'all were in the forefront of this with art and dancing and all of this other things, did they give you their full attention?
Well, I know for a fact, and Ms. Cavazos might be able to share some other information, but some of the decorations, like on the stage curtain, that tablecloth came from one of the classrooms, and they contribute here and there, you know, in
Yes.
different ways that they can, materials or what have you, books to research the history and so forth, pictures to show. I know they've come to me, and I'm sure they've probably gone to you too to ask.
I'm anxious to
input.
see what will happen next year with this beginning at Garcia. I'm going to see if anyone else picks up the ball, and I want to thank y'all
We hope so.
much.
Thank you for
being
having
here
us.
today.
Thank you
Myrna,
very
it's
much.
wonderful.
It's a pleasure.
Mary, you're
Thank
very
you.
talented.
Thanks.
Thank you all for taking part of your day away from the students at Garcia, and please thank Susanna Ramirez.
We certainly will.
She's a wonderful principal that she would let you all come and be with us today.
Thank you very
And
much.
we'll be
Thank
right
you.
back with the rest part of our September the 16th celebration in Grand Prairie, Texas.
What were you thinking of when you was messing with Texas? People who do that gotta be thinking real small. What were you thinking of when you were trashing our highways? People who do that couldn't be thinking at all. Don't mess with Texas!
Continuing our celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month in Grand Prairie, we've just finished with the schools, and now we're going to the community, and we are so privileged. We have a young man that is in a business that really relates and is helping us celebrate the wonderful September the 16th, which is the Décises de la Septembre, which I don't do very well, but we're so pleased from Traders Village to have the PR director of the World of Traders Village, Mr. Alan Hughes. Welcome, Alan.
Thank you, Ms. Ruth. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, we're just delighted to have you on camera because we found out that you have been celebrating at Traders Village something that we feel is very important, and that is the Mexican Independence Day. And we have lots and lots of culture in Grand Prairie that needs to be spread as far as that's concerned. And tell me about Traders Village and why you all decided to have something special this year.
Well, we have a large number of Hispanics as our customers and as our dealers there. They're with us every single weekend, come rain, come shine, come the heat,
Yes.
whatever. And we actually did this as a joint promotion with La Mejor radio station.
Okay.
And we do a number of events throughout the year with different Hispanic radio stations. And they actually approached us early on about doing that event. We didn't originally have it scheduled. We thought that would be a great thing to do. They wanted to do the event as a way of giving something back to their listening audience.
Yes.
And we thought, well, that's something that we need to do too, so we'll be glad to be the host location to do that.
That's wonderful. And on that day, did you have a nice turnout
We had a tremendous turnout.
in spite of the rain?
In spite of the rain, the event took place underneath one of our expo buildings.
Yes.
So we actually could keep people out of the rain, and it didn't slow things down very much at all.
Well, who really was in charge of all of the different activities? Tell us some of the things you all did during that celebration.
The radio station, for the most part, put the program together,
All right.
and they wanted it to be very much a family-oriented celebration. They put together such acts. They had clowns who did everything, of course, in Spanish. They put on two young ladies, and they put on a program that lasted about an hour, but it seemed to go by in a much shorter time because they were so active and they had so much involvement, not only from the children but from the adults in the audience. That was followed by Ballet Folklorico dance
Yes.
troupe. And they did dances for the different regions of Mexico, and with costume changes representing
Oh, they
the different.
did.
Oh yes, the different areas. We had, of course, mariachis. You can't have a Hispanic celebration without mariachis, and we had a super group. Then something that was a little bit different that we really haven't. It may be the first time ever that we've had it. Was trick ropers. And they had two different gentlemen who came on stage and to music performed some really exciting and different things with ropes, and it was really a big crowd pleaser.
Oh, I imagine it was. And what do you project that your percentage of Hispanics that were there that day in your Traders Village?
I would say on that day we probably were 75 to 80%.
Oh, isn't that great?
And it's it was just a function that they really turned out for, and we were delighted.
All right. Now, do you have people on your staff that that help you do this? I know you don't do this alone now, Alan.
Well, of course, I have our maintenance staff takes care of all of our physical arrangements
Yes.
for us, and our office staff, of course, backs me up on anything that I need to do in terms of answering the phones and giving out information. We've done this long enough that we have it down to a pretty good science.
Now, how about the live bands? I heard you had some live
We
bands.
did have live bands, and
Was this a competition or just did they
no,
play?
it was not competition.
Yeah.
It was but there were several bands played. They had one band who came in and actually set up all of the equipment and their sound system and what have you,
Yes.
and then everyone else basically used theirs.
Used theirs.
Used theirs. But it was good. The volume, that's an important thing with Hispanic bands. You've got to be kind of loud, and so that's one thing we have to kind of watch so it doesn't interfere with what's going on with our other market people. But everybody got all they wanted. They stood right there and watched it and listened and danced and had a great time.
Oh, and they did have.
Oh, they did dance. Sure.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Sure.
Now, you've mentioned everything but food. Tell me about the food that you all had.
Well, of course, we have
Concessions?
Concessions in the market.
Yes.
The radio station, I got to sample some really great food. We had a VIP area set up for the sponsors and the members of the radio station staff, and they basically did a trade out with a Hispanic restaurant to bring in food, and in turn they gave them some free advertising, and they had this back in the VIP area, and it was a lot of things that I've quite honestly never experienced before. I'm not sure what some of the dishes were, but I know they were all delicious.
All delicious.
Exactly.
Wonderful. And the radio station call letters are 9:10 a.m.
That's correct.
9:10. So at least we want to tell the people who caused all of this to happen.
That's right. La Mejor,
Lama.
Fernando Gonzalez, and Carmen Salinas are the people that I work with.
Okay.
And actually, this is a relatively new station starting up. But I have worked with them when they were employed by another station, and they're wonderful people to work with.
Well, I want to personally thank you because in the past, Traders Village has documented the very special state marker that is outside of on Mayfield Road, establishing that as a trading post for the Indians in the past.
The Cross Timbers area.
Cross Timbers area. And that's been very exciting. And then when you continue to make history and help the Hispanics celebrate their history, I think that is just really, really wonderful. And I know that you get a lot of help from the community. And as far as we're concerned, we hope that this will happen again next year and that we'll get a little bit more previous notice on this so that maybe some of us could come and join the celebration.
We'll try to do that because I'm sure with the success that we had this year, I'm sure it'll happen again next year.
Well, I noticed in the article I read about you all that you have many family fun days. And do you plan these so that families come out to your place a lot?
Yes, this event pretty much paralleled what we do in the Family Fun Days, and in most cases we do those with the Hispanic radio station. We have lots of giveaways that we give to the stations. They have the Wheel of Fortune that they spin, and people will stand in line for hours. It seems like, but it seems like the line never diminishes much. In addition, lots of those events we allow the station to bring in sponsors to help offset some of the costs, perhaps that they might have in some of their entertainment that they bring. But in most cases, those sponsors are people that are important to the Hispanic community. They will bring in such people as medical people who cater to the Hispanic crowd. They will have real estate people who deal in real estate, mortgage companies.
People that can help them in their everyday life.
That's right. People who perhaps they have a problem, something they need to do or wanting to do in their life, but they really don't know who to go to.
Yes.
And this at least gives them some direction to start.
And I know that you all probably have a celebration for Cinco de Mayo time in the spring around May 1st, and that's very important. But to us, we just really do like to clue in on their Independence Day for the boys and girls of the schools, and that's our emphasis on it. And we want to thank you very much for picking up the ball before anyone else in the community did. But when I find that you have such a wonderful group of customers that come out on Mayfield Road, and y'all are just open Friday night and Saturday.
No, just Saturday and Sunday.
Just Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
But they come and set up on Friday night.
A lot of them come and set up on Friday night.
On Friday night. I've been out to your place, and I just love coming there for the powwow.
Oh, yeah.
And for the chili cook-offs and other things that you all have. And what's your next thing coming down the pike for you all?
Well, we have on, let me check the date, Saturday, October 25th, something that would be interesting. We have a Halloween function called the Haunted Hallway, and this is directed primarily at smaller kids, 10 and under. Okay. Lots of people do the big Halloween fright show, but we think that's an audience perhaps that gets neglected somewhat, so we do a little deal for those guys and have entertainment and what have you.
Do you have an Oktoberfest by any chance?
We no longer have the Oktoberfest.
No longer have that,
no,
yes.
No, that got to be an event that was more or less diluted. I guess everybody got to have it on Oktoberfest, and it was successful for us for a lot of years, and then other people picked up on it, so we just phased that out and did something else.
Well, Mr. Taggart is a manager emeritus for your Traders Village, and we see him at Rotary occasionally. I really do appreciate all of the things that you all do to draw the community in and help beat the drum for Grand Prairie, because we know the wonderful tax base that you provide for the city of Grand Prairie that helps us hire policemen and do all of these other marvelous things in Grand Prairie, Texas. And we say a prayer every once in a while that y'all will continue doing great things at Traders Village. And how long have you been there, Alan?
Well, I'm kind of a retread.
Okay.
I was there the very first year, the day that we opened, as a matter of fact, and I was there for 7 years.
Then you went away and then came back.
I went away for a long period of time, and I came back in '97, and I hope to be there until I'm ready to hang up my shoes.
Thank you. And this is Ruthie Jackson reminding you that history is as we live and do.